$528.76 in school taxes. This is, we usually try to settle these out of court if we can. Typically, if we go to court, the property owner wins. So if we can settle them out of court, it's in everyone's best interest, and we're able to do that. I need a motion to approve that stipulation and order of settlement.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Abstention, motion carries.
Do you want to comment on this as well, how it can be raised?
I do actually. But I want to talk about it somewhere later in the agenda. No, I guess not. One of the stipulations in the settlement is, I should have explained this earlier probably, although the board's well aware of it. If the mall all of a sudden gets an influx of new tenants and property and sales go up dramatically, then we can readjust the assessment. We're going to get an annual statement from them of sales at the mall, and the real property tax law allows for this to happen. So that tax law is referenced in the settlement. So should business increase tomorrow, hopefully at the mall, and they get a lot more tenants, and business is booming for the holiday season or whatever in the next few months, then we can revisit the assessment and increase it. I will say one other thing on this. The minute it hit the paper, a guy stopped me and he said, "You got to do what you got to save the mall. We don't want an empty mall sitting out there." I said, "I agree." Get to my office, I got a message from a guy. Under no circumstances should you reduce the mall's assessment. So I got both ends of the spectrum within a matter of a couple hours. But I think, I understand people's concerns, but I think this is a really good thing. Is it a good thing? Probably not for everybody, because everybody's taxes are going to go up a few cents, as we're going to talk about more a little bit later. But, we have to do what we can to make the mall as sustainable as possible.
Well, the other thing is, I just wrote 4 things down in my paper here. There isn't any way we could sustain that assessment.
No.
Not in a mall that's less than 50% occupied. There are very few, if any, comparable sales out there, which is, what these things are usually decided on. Court-ready assessment, we would have to do that. And court costs, which would be astronomical if it went that far. The only thing actually lucky about this is there are no rebates involved.
Right.
But if it protracted,
Right. And don't forget, the mall was put up for auction, I think, with an opening bid of $1.2 million a few months ago, and got no bid. So, as Al said, we go to court, they get some pretty good information to use to get their assessment reduced. So, we think this is beneficial for the town. And the other thing, let's not forget, are the jobs that are there. How many people in town still work at the mall?
Absolutely.
We're losing a bunch of Sears, unfortunately. We'll lose some more with Office Max, but there's still a bunch of jobs there. So
Sales tax.
sales tax, that's right, sales tax revenue.
That just pertains to the mall itself, doesn't pertain to the outlying properties or the arena.
Right, they broke out the outlying parcels in the arena a few years ago, and this doesn't apply to any of those out parcels, just the mall itself.
What does this take effect, John?
It's immediate, effective today, and it'll be for